Hello and welcome to another comic book review. So this is Grimm Fairy Tales Inferno from Zenescope, and this is actually a trade paperback of Mercy Dante's first volume. Mercy Dante is probably one of my favorite characters of all time, top five, not number one. Anyone who's familiar with this channel will know that my number one character is Cassie Hack from the Hack Slash series. So, anyways, I decided to do a review spotlight kind of thing on Inferno, just because most comic books nowadays they're kind of terrible, and the fact that we have this whole current crisis situation that we're in, there's really no new comic books coming out, or at least the ones that are. I don't really care enough to buy them digitally, so let's do an old comic. Somewhat old. This came out, I believe, in 2011, 9 years ago. So this is Grimm Fairy Tales Inferno, the first appearance of Mercy Dante. Well, not the first appearance, the first volume. Mercy Dante actually appeared in Grimm Fairy Tales. I forget the issue. Anyone who's not familiar with Zenescope, they have a ongoing series called Grimm Fairy Tales, and that one's basically is it once every 2 weeks or once every month? I don't know if it's monthly or bi-monthly, but in it, there's one like main character that's kind of like the focus of the series. I don't know if I can actually find a photo of her. And then every once in a while, they'll have either a one shot or they'll have an introduction to a brand new character. For example, Gretel appeared in a Grimm Fairy Tale special. Mercy Dante appears in a Grimm Fairy Tale special. So Mercy Dante appeared in, it was like 2 or 3 issues, and the funny thing is that they actually have her, of course, as soon as I flip to it, it's like when she's getting in the shower. They have her first appearance from the Grimm Fairy Tales in the very back, which is pretty funny. You would think like anyone who's getting this trade paperback maybe get this, since this is chronologically first, not only story-wise but also publication-wise, than the actual Inferno arc. But yeah, her very first appearance. Pretty much, she as a kid, her parents were murdered in front of her. She knows who did it. She kills. She finds the guy. She tracks down the guy's daughter, who's innocent, and then she kills the guy's daughter in front of the guy, basically as payback. And she was just like overcome with guilt about what she did. And there, someone, I forgot who it was, comes up to her and basically allows her to rewind time, and she has a chance to murder her parents' killer's daughter again, and instead she lets her go, and she kind of has a breakdown and she offs herself. Basically she has a breakdown, puts a gun to her head, blows her brains out, blows her brains out, and then basically death arrives and is like, this wasn't supposed to be, it's not your time now. And that's when Inferno actually starts. This artwork right here is so great. So Mercy Dante has a sister named Grace. And we start off with Grace going about her day. Sorry for the cut. I had a sneezing fit. I'm not sick or anything, but allergies are a pain in the ass, which is kind of messing me when I go out, because I'll be outside and I'll start sneezing and people start freaking out, and it's like, no, I don't have the virus. I swear, it's just allergies. It's allergy season. Like, come on. But we have Grace, who is basically on a medication for schizophrenia, and she's like seeing demons and stuff like that. And the artwork here is pretty good at some parts. I'll say this: the artwork for the most part is good, except when it comes to the fighting. The fighting is really not the greatest in here. But eventually, Grace comes across this old woman who says, get rid of the pills. They're holding you back. They're stopping you from seeing the truth. And come to this location and come find me. And Grace does. And while there, she basically discovers that she's not Grace. She's actually Mercy. What happened was Grace died at the age of 16. She committed suicide. And after Grace committed suicide, Mercy basically became an assassin. And then we have that whole backstory where she was going to kill her parents' murderer's daughter, and she decided not to, and killed herself. And she's actually in hell right now. And the reason that she's seeing demons is because they are actually demons. She's not schizophrenic. She's in a part of hell, and it's time for her to basically regain her memories, wake up, because this lady has a job for her. And the lady basically introduces her to this woman who says that she basically killed these three little pigs. Or these three, is it the pigs? No, the wolves. No, it is the pigs. Yeah, these three little pigs. She basically sent them to hell, but one of them was actually kind of good and didn't deserve to go to hell. And this is from Grimm Fairy Tales number 15, The Three Little Pigs. Yeah, so if you guys haven't figured it out by now, Grimm Fairy Tales, basically they take the Grimm Fairy Tales. Like, we have Mercy Dante. We have the blind guy that you see in the subway earlier, who tells Dante to basically like wake up, kind of thing. Where is he? This guy. This is Virgil. This is from Dante's, basically Dante's Inferno, the Divine Comedy. There's other characters, like I can go in the back. Yeah, we have basically Tales from Wonderland. So we have the Queen. There's the Black Knight. There's Oz. There's a bunch of other characters. I haven't read this one yet. I haven't read Salem's Daughter. That artwork is making me interested in it. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm pretty sure that like inside is actually gonna not be as great. There's the Red Riding Hood. This is Zenescope's version of Red Riding Hood. Basically, Zenescope reminds me a lot of Chaos Comics. The whole like bad girl comic from like the 90s, like all those tropes, like Witchblade, Phantom, Lady Death, Purgatory, all those characters. It almost feels like Zenescope is kind of like the current generation of those. Basically, you get a lot of sexy, badass women who usually fight monsters and demons and stuff like that. And a lot of times they wear kind of skimpy outfits, or somewhat skimpy. I mean, she kind of shows off her cleavage, but she's probably the most well-dressed, normal dressed character in Zenescope. But yeah, basically, Mercy Dante regains her memories, and she's told to locate this guy named Brian Watson, who's one of the three little pigs who was sent to hell and didn't quite deserve it. So now she has a certain amount of time to locate Brian and get both of them out of hell. And if she doesn't do it in that time, then she's going to be stuck in hell forever. So we get basically the montage of Mercy like chopping off her locks and becoming the Mercy Dante of old. I don't really care for the way that looks. This is a cool idea, but the artwork isn't the greatest. So I'm going to skip to a fight scene just so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about when it comes to fighting. I believe there was one earlier. I don't want to show too much of this. There was like a good one. Here's the thing about the fight scenes for me. It kind of bothers me is that the fight scenes, like the artwork is good, but the fight scenes, maybe it's because I read too much manga. And I've been reading manga and used to reading manga for like 2 decades now. So I'm used to drawn out, detailed fights. But here, okay, so this is fine. But then we'll get stuff like this. We get a lot of this, where it's basically almost just like poses and pinups. So it's basically like the Zenescope does this a lot. especially in their older stuff, where it feels more like almost like a portfolio piece or just like a pinup. Like, okay, do a. It's almost like they got a model and they're just like, all right, do an action pose, and then you do an action pose, and then there you go. That's your action scene. It's just multiple action poses that don't flow well together. Like, okay, right here, she's karate chopping someone, and then she's kicking someone, and then she's flipping someone. But there's no all in front of like a blank background. You don't see like there's no flow. There's no like. Here's another thing where. There's no like exaggeration. There's no blur. There's no action lines. There's no effects whatsoever. So everything feels kind of static. There's no like you look at some of these old comics and you actually feel like the action. Like if someone throws a punch, it actually you have the blur effect. You have maybe the fist, if it's in the foreground, is a lot more detailed, and then the rest of the arm is kind of blurred and not as detailed to kind of show that it's in movement. But here, everything is kind of drawn the same. There's no like effects to make the actions like really stand out. So everything comes across very static and stagnant, and I don't really care for that. But unfortunately, that's kind of something you got to put up with when you want to read Zenescope. Other than that, like the actions, the art for other stuff is good. Like when his character's talking, when his character's walking around, when his character's doing anything else, it looks great. But when his character's fighting, it looks like you basically got two people and you kind of pose them, and then you just kind of drew that pose, and you didn't like add like it. It doesn't feel like there's any movement in the action panels. I guess is what I'm trying to say with my rambling. But that stuff, it's pretty cool. I mean, I like the series minus the action stuff. I'm gonna kind of just show off some of the cover art. The cover art for this is really great. That's pretty cool right there. This is a good one. I mean, these are like more like portfolio pieces kind of things. They don't really share anything about the story, but I mean, it's still pretty well drawn. Yeah, these are good. This one I really like. I like the who drew this? Tony Chastain. Like the detail in this like is great. I love this one, obviously. The one that they use for the cover. Then you got the Fan Expo. Like, see, these are like they're cool, but they there you go, some fan service for you guys. I'm not going to censor that because I don't care anymore. Yeah, see, they're cool. They don't really tell much about the actual story, though. I don't know. Here's the thing. I love stuff like this, but for covers, I kind of like a cover to tell me what's going on in the story, or at least give me like an idea. So here, like what we have, I was going to say wrestling, but it's not like they're really wrestling. It looks more like they're just kind of posing with each other. Am I supposed to like figure out like how am I supposed to tell what the story is just based off that, But yeah, and then in the back, we get the actual a special reprinting of the very first appearance of Mercy Dante, which I thought was kind of cool. But again, it would probably make more sense for like new people to actually put that in the beginning, just so you know. I mean, the story does do a good job of explaining everything that happens. Like when Mercy gets her memories back, it explains everything that happened in her first issues. So, but yeah, that's Grimm Fairy Tales Inferno, the very first trade paperback of the very first volume of Dante. You know what? I know the Inferno name is from Dante's Inferno, but I wonder if they took anything from Hellraiser Inferno. I don't know if anyone remembers that movie. But in that movie, basically, you have like a dirty cop who keeps repeating the same day over and over and over again, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. And then, in the end, spoilers. I mean, the movie came out like 20 years ago, but spoilers. In the end, it turns out that he's like in a part of hell, where basically his day is going to repeat forever. And that's kind of what this is. She starts off basically like the days are kind of just repeating and they're just terrible. Everyone kind of mistreats her until she wakes up and is able to break that cycle. I wonder if they borrowed a little bit from that or if that's just a coincidence. But yeah, Great story, amazing character. I freaking love her character. Artwork is not bad. I mean, I don't mind some of this. It's a lot better than the crap coming out of Marvel lately, and a lot of some of these other comic book places. But I will just say that the action could be so much better. Just give me some kind of movement in your action scenes, because it comes across too much like, here we go. We have a character getting slapped, and it looks like a pose. It doesn't look like she's actually getting slapped. I mean, I know that's what's happening, but it's just like, where's the blur? Where's the action line? Where's the sense of movement in the hand coming across? There is none. So, that could have been better. But other than that, like, I love Zenscope. I love Mercy Dante. I'm hoping that, we get another volume of her sometime soon. But hope you guys are good. Hope you guys are taking care of yourselves in this situation. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell for notification. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment down below. And I hope to see you guys next time. Later.